All right. We're going to do the intro. I have both cats in the room with me. One is literally right here, so fingers crossed she doesn't touch anything. Hello. Welcome back to, I should just say welcome. Welcome to Enchanted Art by Emily. I'm Emily, and I'm here to bring you uh, uh, one more sketchbook tour. It's crazy because we're on sketchbook 8. I have it right here. That's why I'm pointing. Um, it's just wild because I'm currently working on sketchbook 9. So the sketchbook tours have finally caught up to my sketchbook art book time. Um, So today we have sketchbook 8 and I'm very excited to show you what's going on in there. This is probably I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite cover of all time because I do like the one I currently have for Sketchbook 9, but it's pretty up there. So let's get into it. Are you ready for Sketchbook 8? All right, so this is okay. I feel this is the sketchbook that I am starting to feel the most me in and the most, I guess, directive and more sure-footed steppings in my journey as an artist. And it really, I think, is very solidified in the cover, in the welcome page, on the last page, how they're all connected and how it's just, I don't know, you really can start to see, I start to see and feel me becoming me. So we'll hop right in. Got some cute stickers from my birthday, scribbles from my lovely nephew. You'll see that there was a page he started drawing, and then he would flip to the front and back, and he sketched on both of them. These are eyes, so you know he was drawing eyes and a nose and a mouth. So he was starting to really understand the parts. Also, brown sugar Pop-Tart cookies are really delicious. If I remember, I will try to link the um the recipe below because they are really, really good. But yes, so sketchbook 8. Here's the welcome page, the dates I started and ended it. And as you can see, we went for a theme. You know, the sun is rising. It is now fully up. It's the same willow tree and little stream connecting it all together. I was very excited about that idea. To the point that I was like, I purposely like planned them out together and was like I think I left this page open, or it might have actually been the first thing I did in this sketchbook. I don't quite remember. But I was planning them all together to have a very cohesive feeling. And I love it so much. I had gotten gourds from a local farming stand that I just thought were the cool shapes, and I wanted to sketch them out, do a little still life practice. Saw this face swap somewhere on Pinterest through scrolling, as some do, you know, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I had to put it in my sketchbook, and that actually then proceeded to make me do my own face swap of 2 other characters from Gravity Falls, and it was so fun. This was me beginning to understand a little bit more about one of the animal companions for my creative writing story. I came across this type of wolf that look almost very fox-like, but have really long legs. Don't remember what they're called. This is what they're called. But I really liked how they looked because they gave that like Anubis dog from the underworld kind of vibes, but like still fluffy and look like a wolf. And I thought that was like perfect. Again, there has been no other swan princess, but there's been Swan Princess references in other sketchbooks. I had to bring her back. Just random fun blob art. This was inspired by the fact that I did face swaps. I thought would be fun to do style swaps. So I wanted to do Maple from Gravity Falls and Chibi Moon from Sailor Moon, and I kind of swapped them. So that's what happened here. I think this was because I was watching some Drawfee that they were making the second panel for medieval art, and I just, they were just so funny to me that, like, because one of them I think was like a medieval animal, and I love how medieval animals are drawn, and so I wanted to draw that myself. This is based off of some sketches of a poem I wrote about how I was feeling about a certain thing that happened in my life, and I've not painted it yet. I have digitally planned it, and I want to paint it by hand, but it's still kind of feelings and a part of my life that I'm still kind of, I think, processing. So maybe someday I'll get back to this painting and actually paint it. This was actually, I put this page down with color first and then came back to this like halfway through the sketchbook because it was blank and I wanted to write some thoughts out. I was approached by my boss at my dessert job to do a arts and crafts paint. Well, it'd be a paint and sip, but I wanted to call it an arts and crafts, but instead of being like a craft like this, it'd be crafts like of wine. And so we were writing out what it might look like and what the event might look like and what the choices would be, because I wanted to have less of a follow along step-by-step paint and sip. I wanted to give them options to paint a specific painting that they wanted. Well, I'd give them 3 options with steps, but it'd be more about, I wanted to teach them the process of painting through painting the steps so that they could feel a little bit more of more creative and build an art muscle in the art process muscles than just copying and pasting, if that makes sense. So I was coming up with some ideas. This is a commission for the last 2 seasons. So in the last sketchbook, we had this little lovely druid deer forest animal that was going to be in fall. And then a couple sketchbooks before that, I had them in spring. And so my mom had now spring and fall. She was missing summer and winter. And so she commissioned these, and I ended up giving them to her as a Christmas gift and a birthday present, to have summer and winter added to the collection. And she did send me a picture, all 4 of them together, and they look really cute. This was, I think, because I was still kind of feeling the forest spirit vibes here, I kind of did cute little doodles of them over here. I was going to try to draw a character, my nephew's D&D character from my brother does a little fun campaign for my 2 nephews. And I wanted to try to draw one of them for his birthday. I ended up doing something else for him as a gift, and I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But then we did, my family started doing Secret Santa for gifts, and I ended up getting my brother, and he really wanted a beanie. I think he wanted a specific like D&D beanie, but I thought it'd be way cooler to make a handmade one with like a dragon that is spitting fire that's rolling the dice. And it came out really cute, and it was also very meaningful because both this hat, and I talked about this before, a hat for my sister and my niece and my nephew. And all of it was embroidered with embroidery floss that I had gotten when my grandmother passed. So it was like they got to also get a piece of art made with some sort of ancestral lineage, and it was very meaningful, and they really liked it. So here are the painting thought processes for the arts and crafts paint and sip that I led, and I was planning how to do it and which ones and how I wanted to do it, writing the steps out. This page, yep, it's painted upside down, so hold on. I did my traditional I don't know what to do So I'm just going to paint random blobs on my, like, random, I guess, frames really on the sketchbook, and then come back to them over time. And like, so each one was like a different day or time. And I just kind of painted them, not realizing my sketchbook was upside down. So, but now I have a little story about it. This was just wanting to, I don't know. I think I saw like, I think this had to be Mariah Elizabeth, and must have done something really cute. And I wanted to make a dessert creature too. And so I made this like weird frog dessert creature. I don't know. And then I had them like looking at a disco ball in this, because how could you not love disco balls? To then I ended up painting this disco ball, and I really like how this came out. It's very like impressionistic and just, oh, I just love it so much. So cool. I started watching because Silent Hill 2 remake had just come out at the time, and about almost every, streamer and YouTuber that I followed that plays video games was playing it. And I don't know why, but I had to draw Pyramid Head, but as like, cutesy, girly pop. I don't know. And that's what this created. And oh my gosh, I love it so much. I would love to make it like an actual print with color and all that. So, if you want to see that, let me know. This was a birthday card I wanted to make for my friend. They were having a itsy bitsy teeny weeny bit older party. And so I wanted to make the card look like a Polly Pocket card. This was, I think I just wanted to make the snacks that you get at the circus, but as cute little animals. Again, very Mariah Elizabeth coded. I wanted to do something fun and just cute. So this is what happened. This was me creating this year's bullet journal, right? Because it's still 2025. In this year's bullet journal, I wanted to have a very specific theme. So I wanted to feel kind of like this cute quilty like pattern. So here, I actually have my bullet journal right here, and I can show you more if you ever want. But it was like this folk arty cover. And so I wanted to keep it very like folk art quilt vibes. So, oh, I gotta fill this page out. Shoot. But yeah, like you can see, I made them look all like quilts in each page. I had like a monthly spread that I made like, look, I don't know, quilt inspired, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. Planned that all out here. Because I wanted also, because I've been keeping bullet journals, but I would do like a month at a time. And this year I really wanted to try to get the whole journal done in not one sitting, because that would have been chaotic and so painful on my back. But I wanted to try to get as much of it done as possible. And I ended up getting it fully done, I think, in March. And so for like the rest of the year, I've not had to worry about making the page spreads, just filling them in. And it's been very nice. I wanted to bring back that little snow cone guy, because I thought they were so cute, and just add some color to them. I was just having fun with some watercolor, and then I just liked how it looked, that I wanted to add like a little more whimsy, I guess, to the page. Then we were doing a second arts and crafts, and I wanted it to be kind of Valentine's Day themed, because we were doing it in January. But I wanted to keep it like soft and romantic. But I also wanted to let people vote which painting they would want to be able to choose to paint at this event. So I made this cute little page and we posted it to social media. I had another friend's birthday party we were going to, and I wanted it to be just a cute little card. Hope your birthday will be poppin'. And so I ended up the card out of this card stock, but made it look like a wild berry Pop Tart. I just thought it'd be kind of cute. This was the little mushroom characters that I were drawing in my last sketchbook, but because it was getting cold and wintry and that time to like curl up and rest and hibernate, I wanted to draw them resting and hibernating. And then I had the urge to draw Neopets. Again, this had to be because I think there was an episode of Drawfee that they had one of the Neopet artists on, and they were like drawing Neopets or something like that. I don't but I was just like, I gotta draw some. So I did. This is the page that my nephew originally started coloring on. And because I was coloring, I really wanted to draw waffles for some reason that day. So I was drawing waffles and he decided he was going to come in and help me draw. And so that's when he drew on my sketchbook. And I love it. Again, this is eyes, nose. I think this is a mouth. This is a different drawing, like these darker scribbles. But it was really, I love them. I love them so much. Anyways, did another one of those because I really liked how that pink page turned out. So I wanted to do an orange page, but I also wanted to do some colored pencil drawings where there weren't the paint swatches for the frames. But I obviously have not ever come back to these two, but I was having fun. Wanted to capture moodiness, I think is what was happening here. This was, again, more arts and crafts planning. We finally voted on which ones we were going to do. And so I started planning them out, writing out the steps that I did for the paintings. This was a random, I don't know why. I think I had these colors, or I was like, I just need to fill this page with random splashes of color. And then I have doodled little tiny parts of trees between the two. Because I really liked the style I had developed by studying Winnie the Pooh illustrations for my murals that I had shown you in the last sketchbook tour. But this is one of the first pieces that I started to paint really what I was feeling. And I did not like how this one came out, really. It felt because I chose such warmer colors because I was painting with these. Felt too warm and not exactly what I was looking for. So I came back to the drawing board and I figured out and redid some things. And here I actually have these paintings right on hand. So I ended up doing it this way. And I really, really liked this more than the other one. It was definitely more of like felt a little bit more, I don't want to say despair, but definitely felt more lost to me, like in the fog. And then I was trying to do some journaling, and in IFS work, you get to start to learn about the different parts and protectors in different pieces of you that come in when you're hurt or misunderstood or whatever it is. And I thought I was getting close to this one to hear what they needed from me to be able to work through hard feelings I might have had. But I had this big giant protector come in and kind of said no. And so I ended up painting that. And it felt really nice to put what I was feeling in that moment on a piece of paper because I was getting such a visual image mental image in my head of what this felt like, what it looked like, and I just had to get it down, and I really like how it came out. So this is kind of where I started to do some more of my I need to paint the sketches that I sketch when I'm journaling and feeling certain things. I do need to physically paint them. I wanted to have some fun with some traditional art. Not traditional art, excuse me, art history paintings, but kind of put them on their head, twist them around a little bit. And so you'll see the American Gothic, but I made them two little swan geese people. The birth of Venus, but I made it Mr. President George Washington, Wart from Over the Garden Wall. I think I just was like on a random site that you could like shuffle through and they'll just give you a random art history painting. And this is one of them. I don't think I've ever really saw this painting before I did this. And then this is obviously the Son of Man. And then I ended up, because it was called the Son of Man, I only could think of Tarzan. And then I ended up actually painting that physically. And I just think it's the funniest thing ever. Hence why I painted it physically. Then the audio Pretty Pickles was all over social media. And I could never stop saying it or singing it in my head. So I decided to make Pretty Pickles. And then this was also I just couldn't stop laughing. One night I said this to Zach as we're saying goodnight. I just said Jason Bourne, it's Jesus Christ. And then I had to draw it because I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Then I've just got, so I have this little cute Steam game that's a Pomodoro timer, and he has this cute little duck in it. So I had to draw him, and then I proceeded to then draw different types of ducks and geese and chickens. Wicked had just come out, and I think I saw this as a cute reference pose to do with your OC characters, and I ended up making Glinda and Elphaba, and then I of course had to write, and they were roommates, which then turned into me drawing characters with like a vine with vines overlaid. So there's road work ahead. I sure hope it do. But it's the Scarecrow. Then I think I just started to, this was a day I just wanted to have some fun silliness, and it turned into me wanted to make the stork that we are all well aware of, like the stork brings the kids in the night. And I just wanted this stork is the one that brings the baby animals to the dens or whatever of these animals. And so I just gave her like a cute little doula cap, and I just had them all, and like I wanted them to be not just a bag, but the blankets that they sleep in. So yeah, it kind of turned into this weird, they were animals, but also felt very, with the shift of what's happening where I live, that is also somehow also slightly political, and I'm kind of for it. I had such a visceral reaction to listening to a song and had very specific mental images of some of the feelings that I feel. And I felt like this song really made me feel it. And so I had to draw them all out, and they might not make sense to you, but they make sense to me. And I do at some point also want to paint all of these, but just haven't done it yet. This was just a fun day wanting to draw piñatas. I don't know. There was something about how colorful they were, and I have these stamps that have like piñatas on them, and I just really liked how they looked in the colors. So I kind of went to that and did some of that. And then I was trying to do some writing for a specific chapter in my book, and I just could not continue writing because I could not figure out the layout of the festival, and that turned into, I didn't know the layout of the palace, and I didn't know the layout of the city, and so that kind of tumbled into me trying to figure it out here. Then I hadn't drawn in a ballpoint pen in a while, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to just do some figure drawing with ballpoint pen. And I saw this comment that someone's like, you should, when drawing like wizards or magical casting people, to look at orchestra conductors. And so that's what I did, and I had so much fun making them look like the different types of like witches and wizards you'd see in a magical world, and casters. And so I thought it'd be kind of cute. And then I kind of filled up the page with miscellaneous occultish kind of vibe stuff. This is where, again, because I was struggling so much to write my story because I couldn't understand the world it was in yet, I started to create, I revisited the map and how I wanted the map to look, and then I redid it digitally because I didn't fully like this one. So I do have a slightly updated map, and then I started to figure out the city, I think I'm calling them nations, I don't know yet, but the place where my main character is born. But I wanted the different cities, and yes, so even though we're never going to see all of the cities or see all the areas, I started to really world build here and start to really dive into that idea of this place. I really enjoyed the ballpoint pens, so I went back and made, again, still in that kind of Wicked theme, I wanted to do different scarecrow poses, and I thought it was really funny to make a scarecrow doing pole dancing because they're on a pole all day. I thought it was funny. And then obviously I had to add some crows. This is more world building, not too full scale, but starting to get the idea of where this main character grew up. It's been this world building piece of the storytelling and the story writing is kind of really fun and really cool. This was a random illustration that I thought I came up with. I think it's kind of sort of inspired by the movie Epic and just like, you know, tiny little pixie fairy creatures living in the woods. I have not made this an illustration yet, but I think this would be such a cute gouache illustration that I'm going to come back to. Cute little stoat drawings, but I wanted to make them kind of feel a little bit like a Chinese dragon feel, but make it a stoat. This was my other nephew's birthday. I wanted to make a really cute card to go with. I made him, I crocheted a Link hat for him because he's also gotten really into Breath of the Wild, and so I wanted to kind of make this cute little card with one of Zelda's sayings on it, and make a little note to go with the hat that I made him. This was a random day. I didn't know what to draw, so I started drawing something, and this is what happened. And I created these two cute little characters, Winifred and Cranberry. And they have tea parties together. It's just cute. And I wanted it to be like a little crocheted stuffed animal, but in her mind, this is what they look like. Then I ended up, because I really liked the SimTap markers, I saw another YouTube artist use specifically just their acrylic markers. And I said, I need to get those. So I ordered those along with, I really like these zebra midliners for my, oh my gosh, my bullet journaling and like journaling in general. So I got a whole set. So I, color swatched those, and it just became a really cute page. I, for some reason, really wanted to draw little vegetables and fruits. This was me exploring one of the thoughts I had on a previous page that were about my feelings. This was a cool shot someone took in a state park that I really liked that I found. And so I sketched that out because I really liked how it looked. This was for my dad's 60th birthday. We wanted to have like a cute little guest book that they could sign and put Polaroid pictures in. But we were going for the whole party theme was an 80s senior prom. And so I wanted the book to look kind of like a yearbook. So I designed what that could potentially look like. Me just drawing more random things. This was the lighthouse from my world building practice. I saw this cute little cat that made me think of my cat, so I wanted to draw them. And then this is my main character, Mylu, and her companion, Kieran. And I kind of finally started to put them together on paper for the first time. Repo had just come out, and I was loving playing it with my partner. And I wanted to play around more with my Crayola markers and arrtx that I've gotten. So I just kind of created this fun little page. This was a Pinterest photo I saw of someone at their wedding, but they were like holding a gun instead, but I wanted to make it fantasy. So I made it fantasy. This was... I didn't know what to draw. So on my Pinterest, I have like a couple of like art monthly drawing challenge things. And I kind of just had Zach roll a dice, and he chose the three, like he got three random numbers, and I, from three different lists, I picked them, and then I had to try to combine them. And so I made a cottagecore Wendigo. And that's what this, but I don't think, I had an acorn pattern on their dress that I was going to have. Yeah. Then watched some, because I was in the midst of crocheting a weighted blanket for my nephew for his birthday, that I was putting on a bunch of old movies that I've loved to watch. And one of them was Dead Poet Society, which then obviously I got to the Oh Captain scene and him making his first appearance. And I was just like, I need to draw those. This was for my friend, for her bridal shower card. I love quoting Jenna Marbles with "Happy Wedding" on almost anything I can say to my friends when they're getting married. So I wanted to make it look like an old, like one of those old romance novel illustrations. And so I I sketched out the idea, and then I went to my iPad and drew it on my tablet, but then I printed it out to then color it in with pencils and markers and give it to her as a gift. And then that also meant I could print out an empty page, and so then she could color it in how she wanted to color it in. It was fun. I had a lot of fun making this, actually. More just random practicing of people. Another one of my nephew's lovely scribble drawings. I think I just wanted to play around with my Crayola marker set that I had. And I then just ended up drawing little Pokemon. I came across this really cool script that we talked about in my sketchbook 9 cover, and I was playing around with it here, and to the point where I love it so much that I now have used it on my sketchbook cover. Just some cute animal drawings that I found. Really cute, and they're all snuggly. Then I wanted to fill one in with my arrtx markers. I started to realize in May and April that I have a lot of little things in my life that I want to work on. And so I needed to like separate them and write out the to-do list in this kind of fashion. And I found that this actually really helped me and kept me motivated to the point where I'm now doing this again in sketchbook 9. And it just makes it so it's easier to like bite-sized pieces to take the steps that I want to take to become more of the person I want to be. This was just some random sketches. This was me finally getting to this painting. This was a sketch that was shown in sketchbook 7, and I finally said I really want to paint that because I do feel like I'm in a time in my life where I am actually starting to shed a lot of my older habits that weren't beneficial for me, and I felt very much like a snake. So I started to paint that, and I wanted to practice what and how I could make it look like skin, like a snake skin peeling off, while also showing the shimmeringness that happens with the snake's new skin. Has like this very shiny texture to it. So I was trying to figure out how to make that look like that. This was a couple days. I just drew one person and came back the next day to draw the next person. And I just that's what I did. It was just different random Pinterest photos. And then this was Sleep Token was about to drop their newest album this year of Even in Arcadia. And this was one of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the promo shots. And so of course I had to draw it, but I couldn't just draw it normally. I had to put shadows around it because edgelord, not him, me. I just felt that I needed to do it. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to paint skin tones better because I was finding the skin tones I've been painting recently felt a little too muddy. So I've been doing some research. I drew a random horse, which made me think of The Last Unicorn. So then I drew The Last Unicorn. This was another painting I've been feeling of like I'm being dragged down into the water. And so I drew the sketch and I have not painted it yet because I think I want to take some reference photos for this kind of pose. Just some fun, different Pinterest random drawings. This was a random, sometimes I get them and they're like these very pixelated images and they go draw what you see. And this is what I saw in one of them. So I drew it. This was supposed to be for the arts and crafts for the summer. That ended up not happening because people are really busy, but I did end up painting these two and I really like how this one came out. Like I'll share that with you because it's so cute. This was just a random watercolor day. And I tried to start sketching on top of it, but I didn't really like how it turned out, so I just left it blank for the rest. This is Sleep Token finally dropped Even in Arcadia, and I just couldn't stop laughing because I was just getting bombarded with like, what are all the secret codes that are in these songs and all the lyrics and how are they connected to the other ones and how is it connecting to the lore? And I just felt like me, along with so many other people, were starting to feel and look a little bit like Charlie Day in that whole meme of Charlie Day. And so I had to draw it, but with me, with all of the Sleep Token lore plastered behind my desk. And I thought it was really funny. But then I also kept getting, still with the Sleep Token, getting the feeling of like the puppeteer between Sleep and Vessel. And I wanted to kind of draw that out. And I did draw this digitally, but then never went back to it to actually illustrate it. I don't know. But yeah, so I wanted to be very Mariah Elizabeth and draw a really cute dessert themed thing. So there's that. And then still going with, I don't know, very whimsical, kind of still inspired by Even in Arcadia, to, I think I saw this person draw this picture, and it was this cute little lavender paint drawing, like MS Paint drawing, and it was so cute. But instead of doing a deer, I wanted to do a giraffe. I just thought it would be kind of fun. This was, I just, again, still really feeling my sleep token. And I wanted to create like this, like my last sketchbook, I had those like farming stim bottles where it was like the different farming simulator games inside of a little apothecary bottle. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to put Even in Arcadia into a bottle. And so that's what I did. This is just finding myself, you know, really nice, beautiful, supportive man, and I drew them, and it's really funny, ended up looking a lot like my husband and all the things we do together and talk about, and the fact that he's willing to read some of the books that I really like, and I like to read all the books he likes to like, and we like to snack together and have fun little drinkies. It just kind of came out of me. Then I started to plan the last page of the sketchbook because it was the last page, and I wanted to continue with the theme of like this very nice, beautiful, magical world slash park slash garden. And I wanted this to be a very like, it's a lot of waterfalls and bridges and a cute little like gazebo at the top. And this is based off of this place in Yonkers that I'm like now like, oh, I live in New York. I definitely need to go down to this place because it looks so cool. And I ended up painting, I don't know why I moved it, painting this as the last page. So again, because the front was about the beginning of the day, the welcome page was the daytime, I felt like it was necessary to make this at nighttime, but I wanted to make it look like the water was kind of slightly otherworldly, very like reflecting the moonlight, but also it in itself is also magical, because again, these are all pieces that are supposed to be kind of visual representations of the world building that I've been working on for my creative writing. So there we go. There's sketchbook 8. The fact that I made this art like essentially within this year and I still couldn't remember everything that was in the sketchbook just, I think, highlights how my brain works just a little bit. So there we go. That was sketchbook 8. I'm really close to finishing sketchbook 9, so I have a feeling that sketchbook 9 might be one of the videos that I'll put out in December. Depends on if I actually finish the sketchbook in time. But yeah, so now I guess I can just focus on doing other of my video content, not just sketchbooks, because we're finally fully caught up. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm getting weird. I probably should go have lunch. So I hope you enjoyed getting to see what's happening in all of my sketchbooks and are looking forward to what I've been working on in my sketchbook that I'm currently in. And I hope you're excited for any of the new other video content that I'm going to make that is art related-ish. Yeah, I hope you have a day and you stay enchanted. Bye! Everything's kind of in your way right now, baby. Oh. That will all move soon, don't you worry.